So for you guys out there that keep a lot of hard to feed animals, and by hard to feed, I mean tiny, poison dart frogs, small fish, salamanders, tiny lizards, this is a savior for you. I found these guys, and since I fell into them and started breeding them, I can't express how easy my life has become and how easy it is to breed them. So I'm going to share that with you. When I was breeding poison dart frogs really full-fledged, it became a big pain breeding the flightless fruit flies or getting a hold of pinhead crickets, things like that. So these are peanut beetles, commonly known as mini mealworms. And I'm going to show you how to set up a culture and get them propagating for yourself to make your life as easy as they've made mine. So these are my cultures here. Generally, I set up cultures in these 16-quart tubs. Now, it's not necessarily, necessary to set up your cultures in such a large frame. Now, you can see I've got thousands of these peanut beetles, and more importantly, they're tiny worm and larvae all throughout here. So they're so prolific, I don't need a new culture, but I like setting up one every few months. And I thought it'd be a good excuse to show you guys what I do. Usually I set them up in something very small like this. I let them propagate for a while and then I add them into the 16 quart. That's how I started out, but now I just set them up straight in a 16 quart and they become very prolific. Very important thing about these guys, the larvae, the mealworms, those are the important food source. The beetles are actually toxic. Now you hear toxic and you think, oh, they're gonna harm my animal, that's not the case. But if you're doing poison dart frogs or anything, this is more like what they eat in the wild. If they start eating these beetles, they will metastasize that toxin and become poisonous in captivity, which generally you don't want. But I've had baby bearded dragons start off on the adult beetles. I've had salamanders that wouldn't take anything start off with the beetles, and no ill effect. So setup is easy. They're called peanut beetle for a reason. The beetles thrive in a peanut shell, feed off and lay their eggs on the peanuts. The larvae will consume them. And on a bed of oats, the adults will consume oats. And like I said, just thrive. So setup is gonna be as easy almost as 1, 2, 3. I've had these beetles in my snake room, which I generally keep at like in the low 80s, and they really do well. I've had them in my cool rooms, fish room. I've had them actually in about every room in the house, the basement, whatever. So you want to start out on a bed of oats. That can be as deep or shallow as you want. In this 16 quart, I'm going to do 2 bales, and this will last you a very long time. I don't know how, because I've never really run through. You can see like in this tote, where the oats break down here, that's what a lot of the beetles have eaten and gone through. So this tote is going to be ready to switch out indefinitely. So you lay a bed of oats, which obviously you can get at any store by you. I don't care, Walmart, Giant Eagle. Well, we're in Ohio, so we've got some small mom and pops. We're blessed that we've got a farm market right in the corner of our neighborhood. So we can literally walk up and get fresh, unsalted peanuts. So all you do is lay a bed of oats, and then you add, and I generally add a layer's worth of peanuts. For speed's sake, I'm just gonna dump them in. You don't have to be specific because these guys will utilize them. So I've got about 1 layer's worth, and you can see there's loose peanuts, there's one more thing that I will do is go through, and you don't have to do this to all of them. I'll crack the peanuts. I'll give some little perforations because the beetles want to penetrate these peanuts to lay their eggs. And a lot of these naturally will have little cracks and crevices. It'll just take them a lot longer to penetrate them to lay their eggs if you don't crack them. But you can see a lot of these that I have in my existing one. They'll get through. They're going to prosper no matter what. So obviously you have to start out with a culture of peanut beetles. Once you have those, you get this setup. It's as easy as grab them, mix them. Look at those thousands, hundreds of thousands of mini mealworms and peanut beetles. If you're afraid you're breeding poison dart frogs, you're breeding fish, you're not gonna run out of food. I'll just throw them in there. You just grab some of your culture and add them in. Oh, don't drop them on the table though, because there's a lot of them, which is no biggie. These guys are not invasive to your home. They're not like cockroaches, even if these guys end up everywhere, they're not gonna thrive out of their enclosure. And if they do, no harm, no foul. They're not gonna damage like other insects may. And that's another huge benefit to them. Fruit flies are annoying. Fruit flies are a pain in the butt to get a hold of. If your culture, stags out or anything, don't worry about that with peanut beetles. And that's about it for a culture. Now, the only thing that I've been recommended at certain points, and I do this, but I found it kind of unnecessary because they thrive regardless. You can see there's a little humidity built up in this tub, and I've had this tote, because I knew I was going to show you this video, sitting out in the kitchen for a few days. They got plenty of water and everything to stay hydrated. Like oats and peanuts. That sounds very dry, very dehydrating. So what I'll do, much like crickets, I'll throw in just a couple of cubes of diced either apple or potato. I have used my Nature Zone, what I use to supplement for my baby beardies. I'll throw some of that in for just hydration's sake. But honestly, for the most part, they leave this stuff alone. They only want the peanuts, they want the oats. Nature Zone also makes a great hydrating like cricket bites or a feeder bite or insectivore bite. Those are great to use too, but again, peanut beetles, they generally leave it alone. That is a healthy start to a peanut beetle culture, and I tell you what, guys, as many hundreds of thousands that you saw in the starter culture, this culture is going to catch up in a matter of weeks. So for, like I said, the morning geckos, when they're born here, they're so tiny. You're not going to be at a loss or lack for food with these guys. And to keep them sustained is so easy and cheap that you don't have to worry about it. I can leave the lid off of this tote indefinitely. They don't climb the walls. They do not, like I said, it cause damage. Would they be able to get out? You spill a tub over or something, that really stinks if you're trying to keep cockroaches or crickets, or it's a pain. Don't worry about it with these guys. Again, I'm gonna reiterate, they are toxic. That does not mean harmful. It means that they carry toxins inside them that can be metastasized by mostly your poison dart frogs are the big one to worry about. You want to use the larvae and the mealworms as the feeder source, not the adult beetles. They will eat the beetles will be nutritious to them, but they will start secreting toxins because of it. Hope this video has been helpful. Hopefully you guys will get some use out of this, save some money and some headache. And if you need to get a hold of some peanut beetles, let me know. Enjoy.